at ESL Halo. Use that hashtag HCS at HCS Works as well. And here it is, Kyle kicking this one off with who are we gonna get? It's just a little shooter.
Yeah, we're gonna get some shooter. We haven't watched him a lot here today, but Tom, I'm loving the energy. You're gonna be pumped up for this. This is the last chance qualifier, and one of these teams is gonna have a very bad rest of their weekend after this.
It's gonna get a lot worse just the weekend, Kyle. This is gonna be a sad day until DreamHack Atlanta rolls around. But one of the things that we did see coming out from the side of OS, Kyle, keep in mind, Nemesis and Ryan constantly just pulling flags. So I'm wondering if they were watching this previous series on the Splyce side, and I'm also wondering if Splyce was necessarily warming up as much as they should have, because now they're looking a little bit cold. And Shooter, he doesn't even want the rail.
We're 40 seconds in the game, and Shooter hasn't left the base yet here. He's got the light rifle, he's putting down a lot of damage here. It's kind of interesting. Contra immediately flew into the base and turned over that railgun. That beginning had me in all kinds of, wondering what was happening. Camo, however, did go over in favor of Oxygen Supremacy as well. This is already turning out to be a really weird game.
Yeah, it sure is. And like you said, Shooter was just sitting there and playing in the base, maybe a little bit timid there. And it doesn't seem like the other side is timid at all as they're trying to
pull the flag just fly off the map?
Wow, I think that the flag did fly off the map. I think that one actually fell through the map, Kyle. So that is extremely, extremely unfortunate for Oxygen Supremacy. Gonna have to get that one sent on over to maybe Quinn Del Hoya and say, hey guys, what's up with this?
All right, but either way, Ryan, he's no lost time here as he is already with another flag. Get it right back to where it was a moment ago. This guy is just so quick, it's insane. And Shanzi getting outplayed. The flag is out. He really wanted to win that one. 2 dead still. Boo Boo Doo versus Ryan. He does have some help from Shooter. That flag is still out. We'll see if they're going to be able to secure the return here. Immediately flying in for a touch, but destroyed. He did forget something. Little flag touch happening, and that flag is essentially going to get returned here.
Yeah, it was thought that counts there. Nice job there by Oxygen Supremacy, I guess.
He did a drive-by.
Yeah, he did. It was the thought that counts, like you said. But Railgun end up going to get missed by Nemesis. That's going to go on over to Boo Boo Doo Boo. And Boo Boo Doo Boo and Renegade just had phenomenal series in the winners bracket finals against ABC. So again, watch out for these two guys to be putting in some serious damage. There's an easy kill onto Ryan. Boo Boo Doo Boo going to press now with his teammate over towards the base. Contra on the porch, and that's going to be Renegade that he's working with to get the kill. Love how they're watching the spawns over towards the silo. Now Shotzi pushing in towards the elbow. Perfect job collapsing on the base. That's the third player right there. Now Shotzi, all he has to do is pull this flag as Boo Boo Doo Boo is waiting for the overextension. I wonder if he's going to jump top center. No, he's going to fall back.
I think he's recognizing the spawns, and completely different game. You don't have to crouch walk around everywhere to not show up on radar. So
Such a
clearly, Boo Boo Doo Boo can now make some moves here and be a good distraction.
Yeah, that flag is just sitting there if they want to grab it, and there it is. Perfect execution again coming out from Splyce, just slow playing it, communicating, slaying when they need to, and then finally putting in that first flag cap.
Yeah, I mean, see, Shanzi's been putting down a lot of fire here. Things slow down. I want to take a few glance at the stats here, see what's been happening to open this one up. I know Boo Boo Doo Boo's doing a pretty good job here. We'll see who else is putting up the numbers for these squads in a moment.
Yeah, looking at the kills, Ryan Noob has the most on his squad, and in the game sitting at 8, make that 9 as he finds another one onto Nemesis, but still down 1-0 here and not able to get any flags past that 50-yard line, except for one that did down the map and get returned over towards their silos. So team nade not going to work out too well. That's a couple of team nades we've seen towards Oxygen Supremacy going after one another.
Yeah, Ryan destroyed right there. I mean, the nade, I saw what he wanted to do. It honestly kind of looked pretty lined up, but he must have thrusted just a half a second early, and that nade literally just took all of his shit.
Ryan does not care where people are on the map. He's still going to try to run that flag as fast as possible. Destroyed. He's going to drop with the railgun. That's going to be 2 dead. Nemesis, he's on the enemy side of the base, but for how much longer, as they do know that he's there. Boo Boo coming around. Thought that he was going to be able to win the melee, but instead he's going to challenge anyway. Maybe a little too aggressive coming out from Boo Boo, and Shotzi not aware of this player still sitting in the base. Nemesis pulling this flag. How far is he going to be able to get it?
Oh, and he doesn't elect to go into bottom center. That's a camo player and misses the stick. That could have been ridiculously beneficial to them. And could have been a flag capture, honestly. There's a lot of things going right in their situation, but just like that, 3 dead
all
down.
just died at the same. Oh, Nemesis with the ninja on a Boo Boo Doo Boo.
Oh crap! What did he really?
That was nasty. Either way, though, that is pretty solid by Splyce, being able to get all of those slays and get the return at the same time. So could have been 1-1, but instead in a situation now where the map's pretty much being reset, and I'm going to scroll through and see who's got top center control. Looks like it's Boo, but now he has no shields.
Yeah, and real great nade coming in here from Nemesis. That was thrown from front of the base, so he threw that really deep into Treehouse to secure that one. And now he himself is controlling top center as they just melt Renegade here.
Yeah, it's going to be up to, you know, Nemesis to be doing a lot of the things that he was doing all day today, because he's been doing some pretty impressive plays. Again, Destroyed, he's not been necessarily, you know, the slow player on the team, but he's definitely someone that has to pick it up if they're going to be going up against you know, a Splyce caliber of squad here. But when you go and look at the kills, it is Contra and Destroyed currently sitting at 5 and 6 respectively, while Riot has 14.
Wow, and a great job Renegade recognizing the two-shot light rifle beat down here to pick up the kill on Destroyed as he tried to Spartan charge him. Then he cleans up the kill here, and we got new railgun getting ready to come up as well.
Oh, you're back.
Protect our carrier.
Gotta watch out. Gotta watch out for your back right there. That player should have showed as well, so it should have been a pretty easy prediction coming out. But either way, Shooter does have this railgun trying to help secure this capture. Nice job getting the melee onto Rhino, but his teammate unfortunately cleans him up.
Right now you got Destroyed here going back up the top center. Boo does get taken out. He was no shields. That railgun now in the hands of Destroyed. We haven't seen anyone from Action Supremacy use this gun really effectively yet. While on the other hand, Boo and friends have been really kind of shutting people down. But nice job. I do like that play to commit to killing Shooter there. He did just escape with that camo. Unfortunately, Boo now finds the railgun in his hands, and he's been doing some work with this weapon.
Boo is really on top of things right now with his awareness. Being able to spot that guy over towards that red treehouse is very important. Now he's put himself in a pretty powerful position with this railgun. Nemesis played that one smart and just crouched down underneath the treehouse and got an assassination. Now Boo coming around and getting some really nice intel and information on the players that are sitting in the treehouse area and calling them out for his team as they appear on the radar.
Yeah, hashtag intel here as we were watching Boo looking through some glass wall action going on. He sees he will eventually spot this player in front of him. Must just call out or something, but wow. I don't even know what just happened.
Where'd that grenade come from? I feel like that
hashtag next level.
Yeah, that was out of nowhere. So here's a instance where there's going to be a little bit of defense coming in from Splyce until they're able to get some numbers and then eventually push out. You can see Boo sitting over there. You have Renegade that's crouching over towards that porch engine area. And then maybe once they have people pushing over towards the elbow, they can get them down to their shields and then push out of their base.
Okay, Contra is on the elbow here. He's got 3 players trapped in the base. Cures kill on Renegade, but no, looks away just as Boo pops out. He's trying to buy as much time as he can. Ryan flies in with the help here, but Shotzi, good job recognizing the no shields player.
Yeah, heads up play by Shotzi. You can catch it just for a glimpse when they start to sparkle and they have weak knees as they say, and that's when you can find that guy and pop him for that kill, and that's exactly what Shotzi did. So just a back and forth game being well played by both teams, but no one necessarily able to break this wide open, but yet that one capture lead is going to give Splyce tons of confidence, because again, this has been pretty much like a boxing match here. These guys just not giving up any. Nice shots coming in from Destroyed. They need some plays like that. They need to outshoot some people, get some momentum, get hyped up here, because Splyce has just been kind of taking their strategy that they're trying to do and using it against them.
That was so clutch by Contra. He was jumping up and down. He had the railgun. He recognized somebody's got to be going for this camo here, and he did, in fact, shut that down. Prevent camo from going over in favor of Splyce when they essentially had control.
Nemesis picks up a double kill, but he's going to drop eventually. Ryan is in a pretty important 1v1 as well, but he's going to drop to Renegade now. Renegade's going to be able to get some sort of positioning over towards the red treehouse, which is exactly where you want to be if you're Renegade. Use that to get towards top center and you have other people filtering in towards that elbow area. Nemesis is going to be flanking around the corner here, but he's too distracted over by the players on the top center area. Big 1v1 against Nemesis. That's another one of those 50-50s that you got to win. And now Renegade's still just holding this area of the map, Kyle, and keep in mind, only 2.5 minutes left in the clock.
Yeah, I mean, the good news is they're only down by 1 capture. So like we've said many times before, anywhere from, I think on Fathom, what do you need? Probably about 10 seconds. Truth is like 10 to 15 or so. And of course, if you relay it, it can help. And then there's some other factors.
Good run here.
But generally, just how long it takes to move that flag across the map. So we still have time, but it is a little scary.
Smart run. I really like this. Just using Renegade as a shield as he's just laying down cover fire. Contra's going to drop as well. So now you're in a 3-on-3 situation. This is a big 1v1. Destroyed against Renegade, and Renegade wins that one. But the flag does get returned by Ryanoob. And now a possible counter pull coming in. That was almost a triple kill shot. He's going to pick that one up on a Nemesis. Flag return comes in. While that was happening, Contra just sneaks away with the railgun and picks up a kill.
And just think how different that would have been if he was able to win that battle top center. Renegade died and wasn't able to secure the double kill. That flag could have been moved further across the map. You'd have more top center control already. You'd already be up there laying down cover fire. So just how big of changes these things can be.
Well, that's what happens when you go to give a little body disrespect. Sometimes your teammates grenade you and the kill does not end up going on the way that you thought it would. So now Ryan is going to try to do something here with the camouflage, which is exactly the right mindset that you have to have when you haven't been able to infiltrate the base over here. That's going to be 2 kills, however, going on to make that 3 kills going on over to Splyce. Can they close out Contra? That's the 4th and final player. Ryan is going to be spawning. They're all going to be coming up on over towards the engine side. And Shooter, if he just rotates towards top center, he can pick all these guys off.
Yeah, they got 1 minute left in the game here. 3 players in the base. Did not connect on that last railgun shot that he had, but he does recognize 2 players in no shields. Renegade following
so
up,
many.
flies in the base. So much action happening. Renegade gets taken out. And we'll see, that's 2 dead here now for Oxygen Supremacy and 2 dead here for Splyce. So as they come off spawn, nobody in there blocking the engine, so everyone is back
Did he
up.
just hand deliver them the railgun?
He was out of ammo.
Okay. I was a little bit worried there. I thought he was going to try to just throw them the gun and be like, here guys, go ahead and try to make a cap out of it. But nice defense coming in from shots. You can tell these guys desperate to push in for the flag. Boobu Dubu realizes that, and this is going to be the last line of defense here. It's up to Boobu Dubu, and the player running the flag is destroyed. He's going to drop. That's going to be pretty much it. Virtually impossible to run the flag that far in that short amount of time. Game number 1 going on over to Splyce. Very, very hard fought for both teams.
Yeah, and you can see they had one opportunity, decided to take it the long way. They didn't have their teammates set up to help them take it across, bottom center silo. Of course, great job by Boobu Dubu recognizing as long as he picks up this kill on that flag carrier, there will not be enough time to rotate across the map, and they're able to close out that game number 1. But, one thing to note is it was only a 1-0 victory. So very, very close and hard-fought game. And wow, wait till we get to the stats here and talk about those.
Yeah, taking a look at the stats, heavily outslayed. 22 and 16 sitting there for Shooter positive 6. Look at that. Shotzzy positive 9. So overall, these guys outslaying them by about 23 kills, maybe 22. And then look at that, 24 and 23, but only 4 assists from Ryan, when Ryan has been the guy that's been dropping at least 20 assists a game. So obviously some sort of disconnect in terms of the play style of what Ryan's doing and what he was doing against the other teams.
So, I mean, there's a couple things you can note, and of course, how you interpret it, just depends on who you're a fan of or how you're picturing the situation. But a 1-0 victory, when you outslay a team that heavily, is not good. Like, that could have been a quick 3-0 based on those stat line. If you look at these stats and say, hey, you outslayed a team by this much, you probably say it was a quick 3-0. But
I don't know if I agree with that, though, because of the way that we saw how Oxygen Supremacy played that in the previous game and how fast that game was. So maybe their philosophy is if we sit back and play defense, maybe like Shooter did, and we don't let them play their game, we elongate the game just a little bit more, that maybe was what they were looking for. Maybe their strategy was to overslay so they don't get caught in positions where those sneaky caps do come through.
Right, because we had more flag grabs coming out of Oxygen Supremacy.
Right.
So even though there
was that 7 flag grabs?
7, it was 7 to
And last
5.
time they were 3 for 3 against ABC in terms of the flags that they pulled.
Yeah, so even being outslayed that much, they're still able to keep the game close and fly across the map and have all these flag pulls. So there's the 2 different ways you can look at it. One, just a team being able to outslay someone that heavily, and then the other team getting outslayed that heavily, just being able to keep the game close.
Well, you know what's good when you outslay a team? When you play a Slayer, and that's what happens.
That's
so
true.
Here it is. From the blue side, it looks like Boobu Dubu is going to be flying over to help towards that camo area. Ryan, he's going to want that sniper rifle. Very aggressive to start this one, and some good shots as well. Ryan looking for an overkill to begin this one. That would have been nasty if he's able to hit the shot on the box. Thought he was going to Spartan charge out, but instead he thrust slides. However, look at the spawner behind him in the bunker area. That guy could screw everything up.
And he absolutely does. And of course, it's none other than Boo Boo Doo Boo, who he just killed over by the Carbine. I cannot believe that guy did not spawn on the back on Carbine. There was another spawner that came up there, but I guess it was because he just died there. The spawn system is always tricky. People always trying to learn it and master it, but it's just a lot of different factors involved.
One thing to point out is Renegade was able to grab the camo, but he fell off the map with that. So now Nemesis is in perfect position here with that sniper rifle and scatter shot to do some serious damage and not have to worry about a flanker coming around that's invisible. So I'd really like to see him either continue to just lock this area down and just, why is he taking so much damage? He should not be taking so much damage in that instance. That is a bad play.
That's always one of my biggest pet peeves as a player, when somebody would sit in a position to try to line up a no-scope and take excessive amounts of damage, which basically just opens up the map for the other team to charge you and takes you out of the play.
Yeah, I mean, his teammates are filling the areas, though, and starting to get aggressive, so fortunately for him, he's able to live there. But one of the things that you have, if you have the sniper rifle scatter shot combo, either, you know, hold that area or give the scatter shot up to, you know, one of your teammates, because having the scatter over towards top tower or top engine just completely locks that side of the map down.
Yeah, and as you see, Nemesis picking up yet another kill, and I'm actually a little surprised at how big of a lead they have after this spawn from Boo Boo Doo Boo. They essentially were out of it, locked in. They had, you know, Nemesis and team had all the power weapons, they had control of the map, and then Boo Boo Doo Boo with the miracle spawn. But they weren't able to do anything with it at all.
Not at all, but Camo's coming up here soon. What happens with this scatter shot is really important. Shooter is going to be able to pick that one up, finally getting the weapons out of Nemesis' hands. Boo Boo Doo Boo's going to drop to the perfect shots to contra. That camo is there for the taking. Who's going to be able to find this one? Going to scroll through. It looks like Renegade grabs that right around 9:45. And he actually escapes out towards the basement area and lives behind the box, but not for long. Destroyed, finally shutting that down. 20-6, make that 21-6. This looks like two different teams here. From the first game, Option Supremacy, they're just going beast mode in Slayer.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the same team that did this kind of thing to Envy. We talked about that like 2-3 times today already. 50-20 victory. So this is a team that is able to completely, when they're playing their best, can shut down anyone.
That's true, and they're doing it right now to Splyce in dominating fashion. The communication is very, very solid from Option Supremacy, but at the same time, they get a little bit too aggressive there and get drop shots. He picks up a double kill with some really nice shots from that white corner area towards the back bunker. And now positioned for the first time in map control, goes on over to Splyce here with the sniper rifle being still sitting on that nest area. Looks like Shooter's going to elect to throw a grenade from that one that could bounce down towards off the map.
Yeah, I want to say that went off the map.
I'm not sure exactly where that went. I'm going to try to find out for us here soon. But I felt like Shooter could have used that sniper rifle to try to get back into the game instead of blow that one off.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like they noticed, or at least one player had dropped down over towards the SMG area and stairs. So it was kind of an opening to go for that sniper rifle. And of course, 14-26, especially with Nemesis taking so many faces already. You know, maybe they felt more comfortable having it off the map, but I think it was just a misthrown nade.
Yeah, I think that it was meant to go behind the sniper rifle and to blow it towards him, but I don't know. I feel like in an instance like that, you need the weapons to get back into the game. So, you know, blowing them up just because the other team is doing well with it doesn't necessarily seem like the best idea. So, either way, we'll see what happens here as you do have the scatter shot still in the hands. Oh, wow. Contra just gets dominated there, but now Boo Boo Doo is the last guy alive. Yeah,
he got his ankles broken there by shots. He is juking and jiving all over the place. Picks up that kill. 31-17, though. So you don't have to feel too bad about it. You feel pretty bad if it was a 50-49, though.
That's true. And, again, nothing, you know, not like that was a bad play by Contra or anything like that. These guys are playing at an extremely high level, so things like that are definitely going to happen. But what's really key is not complaining about things like that, not being like, oh, I missed my shot, it didn't count, or whatever it is. Just call that guy out and move on from it, and that's the important thing here.
Absolutely. You see Nemesis still moving around the map. He has the call-outs, he knows there's some players over here. Big 1v1 battle, but it actually turned into a bait and switch. Nemesis doing a good job of backing down, trying to stay alive here, but you can see there the collapse is coming out of Splyce.
Yeah, this could be pretty ugly here if Nemesis isn't able to get the scatter shot guy, and he's not. So that's going to be Shooter coming in with the double. That's going to be 3 dead. Boobadooboo finds Destroyed as well. They can start to spawn cycle these guys a little bit. They do have the scatter shot still. They're going to drop that one. That's going to be dropping about 20 seconds. So keep that in mind. 6:20 is when that's going to come up. But you know who's starting to pick it up a little bit is Renegade. Now at 8 and 9. Everybody negative currently for the side of Splyce, but they're really starting to put it together.
I think the biggest lead was 15, I think, 21-6 sticks out of my head, and now it's down to 6.
Uh-oh. And it's getting even scarier here as multiple players are going to be dropping that spawn over towards the bunker area. 6-kill lead here, Kyle. Boobadooboo doesn't realize there's a guy below him. They do grab that scatter shot. Looks like Destroyed is the guy to grab that. The guy that is crouching tower 1, though, right now is huge. Whoever got into that position, and that's going to be Nemesis. So it's all up to Nemesis right now to be able to pick up the guys that are no shields. And there it is. He finds Renegade over there, over towards the top engine side. This is the same exact thing that he did in Plaza. Nemesis so sneaky.
Yeah, still 5-kill lead. That was a very big one to get. Grabs another one on Shotsies to make that 6. Dude was right below him. He just never saw him. His weapon was in the way.
I hate when that happens. That sneaky little weapon, it does so much damage, but sometimes it gets in the way of blocking Spartan's Shooter. He's going to help his boy pick up the camo. Renegade's going to burn that one. 6 kills make that 7 now as Contra finds 2 big kills, big plays coming out from Contra towards the tail end of this game, but Splyce has definitely gotten back into this one.
Yeah, Contra gets taken no shields, but they did spot. He has that scatter shot over by tower side of the map. Shooter just electing to back down. They don't even have anyone on this side of the map here, it doesn't look like. You can see them setting up over towards Whitehall and Nest here, just looking to pick off a few kills. Lots of time left here in this game, so you want to play it slow and, you know, take anything you can, use it to your advantage.
Destroyed ends up getting a kill on a Renegade. Not sure why Renegade's trying to do a solo flank over down towards the engine side. At least Destroyed is going to get dropped by Shooter because of that information that was passed on along to him. However, that is just an unnecessary death. That's going to be Renegade picking up one onto Nemesis. If they can get the scatter shot out of Contra's hands, they are going to be in perfect position. There's a scatter shot guy right there. Shooter not able to land the shot in the head. At least gets the body instead. Shotsy now pinched out in a 2-on-1 situation. He is not alive for long, but a team nade comes in and kills Shotsy in a situation where he could have lived.
And then was that a team name that killed?
There was.
Yeah,
double team
lots
names.
of team names. With the 4 back up to a 5-kill lead. Some crucial mistakes happening. What am I watching? And this reminds me when we watched Splyce play earlier today on this map. They're doing so many great things, and they're just giving away a bunch of free deaths and, you know, too much aggression sometimes. We'll see if they're able to bring this one back. Like we said, only down to 3, the smallest lead that we've had as we come down to the final minutes of this game.
Oh my goodness, and there's a guy underpass here, 44-46. Not sure when that camo was grabbed. I think it was around the 30 mark, but I love this angle coming in from Renegade. Now he's going to immediately push out. There's a guy down below him. This is scary. That guy in underpass has to die. That is Destroyed with a huge flank here. Oh my gosh, there are so many people in that basement window if he wants to get him. It's one. Can he find the other? That guy's still no shields down in the basement. All they have to do is flank around. There's another guy pushing up. Renegade is aware of where he is. Nemesis sitting top tower area. Now Boobadooboo's stuck over down there. Nice grenades coming in, but that is the scatter shot player. So now Renegade is in a horrible position here. He's going to have to retreat or hit some amazing shots. It just doesn't happen. Splyce falls apart towards the end of that game. They could have won it somehow. Oxygen Supremacy pulling out the win.
Yeah, I mean, and that kind of, they had a nice setup earlier and a guy stuck tower 1, and once again, they spotted a guy underpass. They just didn't expect that level of aggression to come out of him. He pushes back all the way over towards tower. Renegade takes a couple different people, no shields, but they just did not clean up enough kills. And man, if they got that camo at the end of the game or were able to kill a guy hiding in basement initially, that would have been completely different. We saw them lose 50-48, I want to say, earlier today, losing again 50-46.
What a game. That was extremely close. Could have went either way. It was a really nice comeback from Splyce. I wanted to see him pull it together, or at least bring it out to like a 50-49, but somehow the aggression really paid off for Oxygen Supremacy. They pushed into certain areas. They never stopped. They never slowed it down. I thought that for sure it was going to go down to that next camo, play it around there. It kind of did, but that's right when the game ended up ending. So I'm not sure where, Splyce messed up in order of just pushing a little bit too far, but they probably could have limited the deaths a little bit because Renegade still had plenty of sniper ammo and was hitting most of his shots.
Yeah, I think the thing to point out is that was a really good job by Oxygen Supremacy recognizing the disadvantage in the map control and power weapons that they had. The last thing you want to do is set up and give Renegade a bunch of time to move around with that map and actually snipe and pick up some of those snipe kills. So they just kept on the aggression, and it worked out in their favor this time.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the series layout because, again, this is a best-of-7. It is the grand finals. It was 1-0. Splyce, 50-46. Oxygen Supremacy, a very close series overall. Now we move into Plaza Strongholds.
All right, now it is a 1-1. Both games have been extremely close here. Now that was, ironic enough as well, considering that the Rig Slayer was Oxygen Supremacy taking it when they were so heavily outslayed in that game 1.
Yeah, that's true, but keep in mind that they had an amazing start, and they got kind of scared when all of a sudden you start seeing Splyce taking that 15-kill deficit and bringing it down to eventually a 1-kill deficit. So if you're Oxygen Supremacy, you got to make sure that you're ready to weather those storms just like they did, because this series is going to be an absolute brawl.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine if Splyce won that game, that's the kind that can just take, deflate you so much it could essentially end this series in a game number 2.
Nice job by Shooter. And Renegade ended up getting 1 kill and also laying down some serious damage. Now he's going to be able to capture that yard. Does he have the shotgun? It looks like he does. Now Nemesis is going to be stuck to throw a couple of grenades. It looks like Renegade isn't able to make the jump. And now shotgun going to go in the hands of Oxygen Supremacy. And it looks like they're going to eventually go for that yard as well, which they need to be doing because bottom middle hasn't been captured yet. So there it is, stopping the points being put on the board, and now eventually going to rotate and focus towards bottom middle.
Sure enough, here comes Renegade looking to get some revenge here. Flies in, does pick up the kill, and gets that shotgun right back.
That just wasn't a smart play by Renegade, but it ended up working out somehow.
I was thinking the same thing.
It's like, do not charge the shotgun guy, but we're going to do it anyway. And now Shooter's going to go capture bottom middle. So what's really weird is when you look at the positioning and how this is all played out, it seems like, Splyce would have been putting even more points on the board, but not being able to capture bottom middle, and eventually OS just retaking that nest area has kind of got these guys in a situation where they shouldn't be.
Ooh, big reset here, bottom center though. Renegade keeping that alive because that was almost about to be a triple cap in favor of Oxygen Supremacy as they are in the lead here on this one. Renegade doing what he can, being sneaky, moving over here towards nest. Looks like he does have a player right next to him, but he is going to be S4. They do not know each other are there, but they're about to find out here. Oh.
Nice. While that's happening, though, Ryan has been going really big in that yard area. So then as that happens, there's a triple kill coming out from Renegade. So it's kind of the Ryan and Renegade show right now, as you do have bottom middle being contested. There's the capture coming in. And I'm curious, did Renegade not capture Ness? All right, so he didn't capture Ness. He ends up letting his teammate capture that. But that to me is a little bit weird because that allows an extra about 3 or 4 points to be put back on the board. And it seems like he's lagging a little bit too.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would have gone for Nest there. You always have to be careful. Like, this could come down to one of those really close games where a few seconds is the deciding factor at times. But looks like it is going to be OS here getting regaining control of bottom mid. They've got that poor man set up top, as you say. And just kind of set up here top gold, one of the most powerful positions on this map.
Yeah, something to keep in mind, too, as we watch these games kind of unfold. We did see this game played earlier, was Splyce against ABC, right? I think that it was a pretty one-sided win for ABC, the most one-sided win in the entire series. So the way that Splyce has been playing this has not been, very objective-oriented. They've been really focused on slaying, and they need to start, getting a little bit more dirty with the objective.
Yeah, I mean, as many great things as they do, they end up making a bunch of those mistakes where they don't, or they don't capitalize on the advantages, I should say, and get those big chunks of time.
They're outslaying them by 5 kills right now, for the record. Make that 4 kills as Nemesis picks up 1, but there's, really no excuse to have so many points being put on the board right now for the side of Oxygen Supremacy, except that you're not being focused on the objective enough, and that's a little bit scary here. That's something that you touched base on in the first game where they outslayed them so much, but they only won 1-0, and now it's kind of showing in a different game type and a different map.
Yeah, that's good to bring up as well here as Ryan picks up a trade, which is, exactly what you want. It's something you're going to be comfortable with in the Strongholds game type. It is not King of the Hill. You don't have to be sitting in that hill. All you do is need to trade from this point on, and you would win the game.
Nice shots there by Nemesis. He's going to take out Renegade. So now it's a 2-on-2 situation as Boobadooboo's stuck over towards that loop area. No shields, but all this fighting and no points being put on the board for Splyce. It's all auction supremacy. There's 2 slays here. This is what I'm talking about. Where is the objective going to come in? Are they going to go in the same spot, or are they going to split up? It looks like they're going to split up. 2 bottom middle. Another person should have been over towards that nest area. They got that, and there's the triple cap. This could be what Splyce is looking for. They didn't add enough pressure, though, for that triple cap to go over towards that yard area. So now Boobadooboo just going to lock down Light Rifle with the shotgun area. He should be getting top gold here, and that's exactly what he's doing. Now he's going to need support over towards that loop area. Contra, that is the worst play of the tournament by far today. And now they are stuck in a 3-on-3 situation.
Yeah, I don't know what that one was. Definitely a little bit over anxious. Ryan kind of doing the same thing, rushing on top center. Now, was it power-up coming up or something? I'm not really sure.
I mean, yeah, most likely camo was coming up, but it's not like in a 4-on-4 situation that you just charge out to the middle of the open and say, hey guys, kill me.
Yeah, that was definitely questionable to say the least, but either way, this Splyce is really using that to their advantage. They are clawing back into this one. A lot of it in the hands of Boobadooboo and what he's able to do, just controlling that light rifle area.
Nice job staying alive, but there's players everywhere. Every corner that you look, Nemesis is going to pick up one. That's Shotzi and Renegade returning the favor, though. Now Contra, he's going to be the last guy alive over here with his boy Ryanoob. All 4 dead. Renegade picking up the double kill. Big plays coming out from him. Now they're stuck in the tram. They can continue to add some more pressure, but a little too much, and Destroyed comes in with the kill. You also have Shooter kind of out of position as well, so Destroyed's going to pick up both of those players, and that could have been the opportunity that they needed. Also, they spawned over towards the nest area, so that is just abysmal coming out from the side of Splyce.
So to point something out about Renegade, he is a ridiculously skilled player. Like, there's no arguing he's really good. But that moment, and it's one of the reasons why I think they've struggled to beat the top tier teams, is you can't make those you can't do something great, have a great double kill, perfect positioning, and then just overcommit, challenge, and die and give up the advantage. That is not something Optic's going to do. That is not something Liquid or Envy are going to do. So you cannot be doing that, and it doesn't necessarily show as much now, but in the Pro League, when you're up against the best teams, things like that lose you games.
Oh my goodness, Shotzi just gets the business from Nemesis right there. Now Nem is pushing in over towards the yard, extremely confident that he's going to be able to get this one. Drops Boobadooboo with the shotgun. That's going to be yard going on over to OS, but the thing is where are the spawns? Are they going to be able to trade this yard for that nest area? And again, just got to point out that huge mistake after that double kill to get a little bit too aggressive, and they also didn't rotate on the spawns. That is resulting in auction supremacy eventually being able to win this game number 2 as they should. That's going to be nest going on over to Splyce, but it's not going to be enough. And there it is, time ticking down, points being put on the board, 2-1 OS.
Yeah, wow, that was kind of different. You saw great runs here coming out of Splyce, but then, just to highlight back on that play, so obviously you were watching the replays here. Renegade flying into the base, gets the kill on the shotgun player. Yeah, it worked out that time, but Tom and I pointed out, probably wasn't the best play. It doesn't have a high rate of success flying into the yard, going for a kill on a shotgun player. But you see later on, that same kind of play style sometimes works out, but sometimes really hurts your team. And that lead, that comeback that they had was completely negated and shut down after too much aggression here coming out of them. But sure enough, looking at the stats,
they outslayed them.
Heavily outslayed them. But, people come off spawn and you're blocking spawns when you're playing that aggressive, you're going for yard, and the other team comes up on nest or hotel and gets control of nest, sometimes getting kills is not good. Sometimes getting kills, you just want to sit back and let the other team push out or try to hold them back as opposed to killing them, giving them a spawn across the map where they can regain some of this control and get back into it.
Yeah, and you hit the nail right on the head. That's just something that the top teams don't do. You're never going to see, especially a disciplined team like Optic or Envy. You may see it once in a while from a Liquid or a Straight or something like that. Someone that really was plagued by that in the Pro League seasons before was Evil Geniuses on Strongholds Plaza, where they would just immediately charge the yard and just not be aware of the nest spawners. But it's a thin line. You cannot do both. You can go and get aggressive on that, but you can't get aggressive and then just completely forget about the people in that nest area.
Yeah, I mean, he is an extreme, like, I almost, I feel bad doing any kind of criticism, especially after you have, like, a strong performance, especially stat-wise, but it is something that you have to point out because, like Envy, you have to, or no matter what game type and no matter what map, you need to know how to play it and know how to play each different circumstance. And you cannot just play 110% aggressive time. You need to know when to hide in corners, to sit there, to be patient, to wait for your teammates. And something we're seeing more from Renegade, which I think he's improving on, but you can't just charge in every single time. And it's going to start getting predictable. And that's how the Pistolas and the Snake Bites and Royal 2s, they're going to know. They're going to predict you're just going to fly into the base and they're going to get you every time.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now we move into, I believe it is CTF Coliseum here, 2-1 in the favor of Auction Supremacy as we take a look at the series layout. And those were very, very close games, 50-46. That last game, Splyce had that. They had the comeback ready. They had the triple cap in effect. I mean, the double cap was perfectly there. They could have just continued to milk that, continued to milk the clock. Another big mistake being too aggressive. And there it is, 100-48 now. This is a little scary for Splyce because, again, they were in the winners bracket finals against an ABC team that they lost, that they beat 3-2. Auction Supremacy, they beat that team 3-1. They've been playing, they've been gaining momentum from that losers bracket. And if there is a team to beat Splyce, this is the squad, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you that if anybody's going to take these guys down, it's going to be this extremely experienced squad. You've got Ryanoob and Contra as the two bigger standout names, but Destroyed and Nemesis having phenomenal days tournament-wise as well. And then Splyce, like, there's a lot of pressure on these guys' shoulder because this is, fourth place team. Renegade leaving a pro league spot on straight ribbon to join Splyce, taking that risk of not being in pro league, and all of a sudden Auction Supremacy might be the guy to, end that dream.
That's crazy to think about. It was obviously a very risky decision for Renegade. He's been playing phenomenal all day. It seems like it has been paying off for him so far, but if it doesn't work out for him, that is going to be a horrible decision. One of the things to keep in mind too is there are probably some teams in the pro league that are watching this, and if some of these players don't make it into the pro league, they are going to be all up in your DMs asking to get on the squad. So that's something to keep in mind too.
Yeah, I mean, we all come from the Halo world. We know what it's like, and sure enough, like sometimes the way these guys change teams, it's like daisies popping out.
It's musical chairs, man.
Right, exactly.
So here it is, sniper rifle in the hands of Ryanoob, but this has been a really awkward flagpole for him. He wasn't expecting it to be ran over towards that elbow. Now you have multiple players that are scouting. He does hit some nice body shots, but it looks like the flag is being pushed pretty far. And I don't know if Ryan's going to be able to hit these shots with players that are going to be shooting him. There's one onto Boobadooboo. Make that two as he connects, but there are multiple players. All they have to do is take one. There it is. One player to just grow a pair to go and shoot that guy out of scope so the flag guy can get in.
Yep, and sure enough, they did do that. They just played it patiently, wait for some spawners, had the numbers advantage where they just flooded and secured the capture. Now, Ryanoob, I like that he didn't overcommit to it necessarily and just turn over that sniper rifle, but yeah, definitely kind of a little heartbreaking flag capture here for the likes of Auction Supremacy.
Ryanoob taking the Royal 2 approach, but something that may happen here is while Ryan's sniping, they could capture 3 flags right in front of his face. So, Ryan says, shut up, and he's going to go and lay down some serious damage there. Not, someone that you think of having the most spectacular sniper rifle, but he's definitely been taking some good angles and playing pretty heads up.
Yeah, we'll see what he's able to do here in this spot. He hit a couple shots earlier. Back down, he's back in that location again now and is trying to catch one of these players moving across the map. Destroyed, picking up a kill. Great grenade coming out of Boobadooboo. Oh, but he didn't get the kill actually. He stayed alive and is still pushing that flag.
Yeah, Boobadooboo sitting there on the table, being a nuisance, using their shields, so Nemesis is going to eventually pick that one up. Looks like this flag should be able to get put in. It's right around the corner, and there it is. A lot of that having to do with Ryanoob staying alive with that sniper rifle the entire time.
Yeah, wow, great map movement. Already in the base, grabbing yet another flag. Contra grabs a kill. That's a numbers advantage. Flag's already outside of the map. He's still got a little bit of health. Player bottom center, if they double team him, Ryanoob gets one shot down. Destroyed is on the challenge, and they both stay alive.
And he's running the flag while he's doing it. That's the beautiful thing about watching Ryan play Halo. Just such a team player. The guy knows what it takes to win. and he's doing whatever he can right now. Hasn't died the entire game, and they have 2 flag caps on the board.
Yeah, this is definitely getting scary here for Splyce. I don't know if they even know what's going wrong for them. Why that they're letting some of these games slip by. They have the rockets trying to fly in. Just had make that 4 dead now here as the flag is getting pulled by Shotzi. 4 dead again. They have rocket control. This is looking pretty to tie this one up.
Nice job by Boo. And you know what? Boo is still in the base with rockets behind these guys too. So that is a very scary situation to be in here. Boo, can he find the other kill? He does. So that's going to be 2 dead with the flag cap coming in as well. Boo still at the enemy cave as Shotzi's trying to push up desperately to get in there and help him. Boo still picking up kills at the enemy base, finally dropping to Ryan. So what a job there by Splyce. They really got to put this together here. I mean, going down 3-1 in the series against Auction Supremacy, that's scary, you know, because they're lucky that this would have been a best of 7 because they're still in the series, and you know they also have this double elimination cushion because they've set themselves up for success by beating Auction Supremacy already 3-0 today.
Ooh, Renegade trying to be a distraction for as long as possible. Definitely pulled the focus of at least 2 players here, and that sniper, I believe, actually fell off the map. So great heads-up play, recognizing the disadvantage he was in. No real hopes of coming away from that one unless you hit some ridiculous no-scope. So nice job just overall here. We're still looking up a tied-up game 2-2, and the aggression is coming in from Auction Supremacy.
Yeah, Contra's pushing into the base. Ryan had already pushed in and created some serious havoc. This flag is being pulled. That is 2 dead, and they are freshly dead as this flag is being pulled up over towards the top snipe side. Excuse me. Boo-Boo-Doo's going to drop this flag. Has been pulled from Shotzi. Nice job by Shotzi coming in with the counter pull. That's exactly what you want to do in that situation, and they got it pretty far as well. So without Shotzi being in that position, this would have been a disaster. Uh-oh, Shooter coming in around the corner with the rockets. He's going to pick up 1. Can he find Ryan Noob for the double? Ryan Noob is not there. That goes the return. That flag is still at the base for Shotzi. Is he going to be able to put it in? He is. What a hero for Splyce. Young Shotzi.
Oh, and that is a potential tilt game, Tom, because they had the flag out. They had 3 dead, and they weren't able to secure the kill. Or secure the flag capture, excuse me. Contra ran that flag all the way back into his base, and then all of a sudden Shotzi, last guy alive, gets a flagpole, gets the flag out, and that is actually the game-ending capture. So that just completely spiraled out of control.
That has to be so frustrating for Ryan. What can you do any better? I mean, the guy literally played perfect Halo for about 3 minutes, and that game was 4 minutes and 51 seconds long. So
wow, I didn't even realize. Nobody even broke double digits.
Yeah, that was a crazy game right there, and you can see 5 captures in less than 5 minutes. What a game. What a game to watch. These guys are just so on top of every little aspect.
Yeah, Ryan Noob, 4 power weapon kills. The only one from OS to have a power weapon kill. And then as far as overall flag
damage,
captures.
That's pretty low.
Right, yeah, 5 flag captures, or 5 flag pulls, excuse me, from Splyce. Only 4 coming out here for Auction Supremacy. So, you know, that was literally a 50-50.
Yeah, that was
a
an
coin
amazing
flip away from who was going to win that game.
Yeah, that was an amazing game. You can't really put it any other way. Now we move into, I can't remember exactly what game number 5 was, but we already played Rig Slayer once. There it is. Thank you. Truth Slayer is going to be game number 5. Empire Strongholds, we are already invested this far into the series to see a game number 6. If we don't see back-to-back wins from either team, we are going to game number 7. Keep in mind, Splyce has to lose twice. Auction Supremacy is coming from the lower bracket, starting this one off with Shooter, who was really, really important towards the end of that game with the Rockets.
Yeah, we'll see what he's going to be able to do. Already playing more aggressive than we saw him on that Empire game as he sat in the base for the first minute here. 3-0 though, so great opening start here for this Splyce squad.
You could tell just off the tail end of that last game, Splyce totally carried that momentum over, specifically Shooter, because we haven't seen Shooter playing this confident or aggressive all day today. I'm not saying that he's like a timid player or anything like that, but he's definitely passive aggressive and conservative, and now you can see he is getting very, very aggressive with his shots when he has an advantage. He's moving around confidently. He's, you know, definitely playing at a higher level than he was in the previous games.
And look at this, 7-0. They haven't even been able to get a kill quite yet. It's destroyed.
Nice shot.
Picks up a trade here, so 8-1. Finally getting a point on the board. We'll see if that's going to be the momentum swing they need. Start getting back into this one, but that lead is still growing.
Yeah, this is really scary right now for Auction Supremacy. They're going to have to turtle, which is what they're already doing, and they're going to have to get control of the base, which is what they're doing as well. But they need to find some slays, and that can be way easier said than done in a situation where you do not have any control here. And you can see Destroyed desperately trying to hunt down the no shields guys, but Shooter just in perfect position to help his teammate.
And we can see Shooter locking down pink side of the map here, doing a pretty good positioning, recognizing that the team is over at, or the enemy team is at red base, and this guy over here at car. Great shots. Will go ahead and pick up that kill on Ryan. Another player's top center. That's not where you want to be when you're at a numbers disadvantage there on your team. And just like that, 2 dead. Last 2 players over at red side of the map. And this is amazing job by Splyce, playing so patient, just making sure nobody spawns behind him.
I'm really worried if Splyce continues to add this amount of pressure. I'm worried for Oxygen Supremacy, because the next game type, it's Empire Strongholds. And Empire Strongholds, you don't have much time to get your footing as well. So everything happening so fast here and unfolding so quickly for Oxygen Supremacy when they were just on top of the world. They looked like they were going to go up 3-1 in that series. Now they're down 15-4 in this game, and they have to fight back and beat these guys in 2 best-of-7 series.
Oh, and gosh, that would be a heartbreaking way. Ryan Noob, I know how much time he puts into this, how dedicated he is, how good of a player he is, and just has not been able to catch his footing really here in Halo 5.
Yeah, and he had his run for a little bit. I believe he was also teaming with Contra too. He did a little bit of Allegiance run, if I'm mistaken. I think it was him, Contra Devin in a 4th, but I could be mistaken. I'm not sure if it was for very long either way, but he's had his, moments to shine, and every single time it seems like he's really stepped up to the plate. But in a situation like this, again, what else can you do, man? You played perfect Halo in that CTF Coliseum game, and you still ended up losing. You just got to give credit to Splyce where it's due. They're really starting to pick it up, and that's because of how bad they want to win this. It's a spot in the Pro League.
Yeah, I mean, they made this team, like we were talking about, the risks that they took and some of the, dangers of leaving a Pro League spot when there's only one other spot open here for these guys. And either one of these teams could easily be competing in the Pro League.
Yeah, definitely. I think we saw a tweet from Devin saying that he thinks that even 3 teams should, be up for that running, and I agree. I think that now even 4 teams based on what we saw today. And just a big shout out to all the players that did compete in this and all the players that maybe competed that didn't make it that far. You guys are really, the people that keep this esport going, especially all the people that are watching as well. So thank you guys for continuing to support Halo 5, and we're really looking forward to the upcoming Pro League. But either way, this is getting out of hand, Kyle. It's getting ugly. 26-9 here. I mean, what do you do if you're Oxygen Supremacy? You really can't do anything. They've tried to execute on the typical retake strategies, and Splyce is just there waiting for them.
And just think, remember the Rig Slayer, Tom? It was 21-6 at one point. Now we're seeing the exact opposite here on this true Slayer game. Really curious how that works out sometime. It's just like a flip of a switch, and sometimes with a good opening strategy, taking that quick 6-0, 7-0 lead in the beginning, you're able to just steamroll the rest of the game.
Oh my goodness, getting that trade in a situation where that seemed almost unwinnable. Very nice plays coming out from Renegade. 31-12 here. I'm not sure who was able to pick up the camo, but that one had to be in favor of Splyce. Eventually it was. Renegade did grab that one and has a pretty hefty lead here. So just a matter of time before someone goes on a little bit of a spree here and just puts this one out of reach.
Ooh, Shotzzy 10-4 this game, being an absolute boss so far. We'll see what he's going to be able to close this game out with. Renegade,
really, everybody
Shotzzy
having a good game. I mean, look at even Boo Boo Doo Boo sitting at 6-9-1, so only 1 death.
Oh, wow, yeah.
That's pretty amazing. I mean, Boo Boo Doo Boo, I think it was in Slayer Rig, had one of the more underwhelming performances that he's had all day today. I think it was only about like an 8-12 or something like that, maybe a little bit worse, but in a game where it was 50-46, those are definitely the big difference makers. So he's probably trying to make up for that and get fired up for these guys in Truth Slayer.
And the difference between that Rig Slayer game and this game is that the Rig Slayer ended 50-46, and this one we're looking at 38-14 right now. This is absolutely absurd. And Shooter, another perfect kill coming out of him. Gosh, you can just tell the momentum change from the end of that last game. And Tom, what did I say at the end of the last game? That is a potential tilt game.
Yeah,
because of that. And sure enough,
I'm glad
this
you
is what is
yourself
happening.
because I wasn't paying attention.
Right, I figured.
Rarely do I ever.
Right, and I just wanted to point out the fact that I was so right in what I had said.
Yeah, good job, Kyle. Let me pat you on the back here. Do you want a cookie?
I would love a cookie, actually.
Yeah, no, you're pretty hungry, actually. By the way, the katsu chicken was pretty on point today.
This is true, but 44-17, we should probably talk about some Halo here.
Yeah, we should. But, you know, speaking of food, there's a lot of feeding going on right now. Oxygen Supremacy, just feeding the
steak
Splyce.
dinner about to happen.
Feeding the Splyce beast. That snake is about to pop. It's just ate so much Oxygen Supremacy at the top of your screen. But, you know, going back to...
This is an oxygen bar.
This is. Going back to your point. Oh, no, don't do it. Going back,
died anyway, right?
Yeah, he did. Going back to your point about carrying over momentum, I just want to point out Empire Strongholds again is this game, if it is the final game, game number 6. That is another one of those games that if it snowballs out of control, if you're triple capped on the side of Oxygen Supremacy, you're so deflated from that flag game. You're so deflated from this victory, 50-49 here, this defeat. And now you're going into a game type where, again, if you don't execute correctly and Splyce is playing it flawlessly, there's almost nothing that you can do.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact, like, if you came to me 15 minutes ago, Tom, and asked me what I thought was going to happen, I was going to say we're probably going to see an extended series. Now, within the last, let's see, that game was 7 minutes, 18 seconds. Within the last 10 minutes, it has just completely spiraled out of control now here for Oxygen Supremacy. Way too much carbon dioxide up.
It is. We're going to see what the answer is going to be and who's going to be the person to respond to this call because, you know, what do you do? Again, 50-19, that is just a blunder. That is completely unacceptable in a finals game like this. And it can happen, don't get me wrong. You know, you could be on the receiving end of those things. We saw the retake strategies. We saw the potential there for these guys to do it, but Splyce was just not allowing it. So I feel like you're going to have to, you know, have some amazing outplays here. Someone's going to have to individually almost like embarrass someone. You're going to have a really good opening strategy going for the overshield. You're going to have to make sure that you're not allowing players to be sneaky with the camouflage because we know what players like Boobadooboo can do with that. But, you know, everyone is kind of filling their role, and that's what you saw right there. Shooter, you know, most assists, Boobadooboo, least deaths, Shotzi and Renegade doing the main slang. Splyce 1 game away now from making it into the Pro League. They have to be feeling it.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a crazy win. That was just domination, really. The amount of aggression they were able to hold there right from the opening strat. I think it was 9-1 before we finally saw them get a kill. And they only got 18 more kills after that. So it was just completely, it wasn't like a big lead and an unfortunate start off the beginning and then traded kills the rest of the time.
Right.
No, it was running away and gradually and continually building a lead the entire time.
Right, and I can't remember when these guys played, what the series was before. I mean, it was 3-0 today, but I feel like these two teams have played in a best-of-7 before, and it was 4-2, maybe in one of the placement cups that I was casting with Dave. But you're seeing a Splyce team right now that, like you said, after that game on Coliseum, they skyrocketed. Their energy levels went up. On the other side, levels went down big time.
I do like the thumb action too, for
Thanks.
sure.
You know, some people, you know, they have to have the visuals. Other people like to be able to listen. So I want to be able to, you know, all different learners. I want to provide to all different learners.
Speaking of which, we are going into an Empire Strongholds here, where we're on board with Contra, and they need to set this up. Great grenade. They're recognizing Renegade off the spawn, and they may be able to secure the overshield because that Contra gets a double, gets the OS, and boom, that might be the opening or the momentum swing they need to get back in this series.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Those are the type of wins or the 1v1s. It wasn't necessarily like a complete embarrassment, like he just completely outshot that guy. It was just a very close 1v1 that Contra ended up clutching it up for, and now they're going to be able to call out, get some momentum. They can finally breathe for the first time in a couple games.
Ooh, but Boobadooboo, he's down there. Oh, he has the Plaza Pistol camo, and he does melt that overshield here from Contra. So we can see points on the board here for Oxygen Supremacy, but both strongholds being taken. I think they're going to get both of them as well here. So just like that, great opening start, just completely steamrolls out of control again, and it's a triple cap. Maybe.
Gotta get that guy out of there. They do.
Stop
Oh my goodness, Splyce. That was so unfortunate for Oxygen Supremacy. Now
that was a tilt cap.
That was. Now all of a sudden Shooter is just in perfect position to work with one of his teammates there. That's going to be Rhino if he can drop him. There's another player destroyed. Get in there and get the reset.
Not
Perfect
again.
execution. Now all they got to do is collapse on red base. Are they going to collapse here, or are they just going to, or blue base, excuse me. Are they going to collapse on this? No, they're going to allow them to capture that. And then where is the push going to come for Oxygen Supremacy?
Yeah, and looks like they're going to recognize to see if there's any kind of split spawns happening. Shooter just playing back. They elect to give up blue base and allow Oxygen to capture that. And Shooter is just going to sit back here and try to prevent them from getting control. And wait, what?
Yeah, good job, Shooter. Just let them get the pit for free. Okay, so that was weird. It looked like he was kind of, we saw the player outlines on where that guy was. Kind of made sense. Ooh, can he do it? What? He doesn't get the trade on that guy? Baloney.
As we can see here, there's a lot of food talk happening here now, but Booba does push in and get that trade. So, yeah, looks like, you know, Oxygen Supremacy, we talked about it being a tilt game, but looks like they are not giving up here. They are still battling this out, doing what they can, keeping it, stay in this one as Ryan grabs that new camo. Looks like Overshield will go over here to Splyce. She had both Booba and Renegade outside there.
This is big. Shotzi picks up the kill. That's going to be Renegade dropping to the camouflage guy. Multiple players inside the pit. Pit is going to go on over to Splyce. So now they're starting to put some points on the board. Ryan with this camo, he's trying to find out where the most important player is to kill. He wants to find out where the Overshield guy is. He wants to find out where he can eventually push in towards the objective. The last thing that he wants to do is expose himself at a disadvantage when he doesn't have numbers, and that's what's happening right now. There it is. The grenade comes in. Booba spots him. Looks like Renegade's going to converge on him as well. Booba gets a kill on a Contra. There's multiple flanks coming in from outside. Perfect job by Splyce taking out Rhino.
That is literally worst case scenario. Rhino wanted to play that perfectly. You know, we highlighted, was it Nemesis earlier today? We didn't like a camo play that he had, and sure enough, Rhino did not want to be in that same boat. And although I liked where his head was at and what he wanted to accomplish, it just did not work out. Splyce completely shot it down.
Yeah, now Splyce, they are so close. 50 points away from making it into the Pro League. Destroyed, not even moving for some reason. He gets dropped. I don't know if his controller disconnected or what was going on there, but now you can see the aggression coming in. It looks like Shotzi pushing in for the triple cap. Kyle, and this is what I was worried about. This is a game type on momentum, energy, all of those type of things that it seems like OS doesn't have right now.
It looks like Destroyed, he was just completely lost in the last two fights of what was happening on the map. Like pushing into the base right there. If he came off spawn, you ask Kyle, what should he do right now? I'd say anything but run into the base and go to try to capture that stronghold.
Right, so we'll see if he's kind of tilting or what's going on right now. I'm going to watch his screen and see what's going on. He's currently in the pit. Looks like Renegade's there as well. Destroyed's going to be there. Can Renegade pick up the triple kill? You know he wants it. It's a beatdown away. There it is. Ryan's going to drop. Contra, the last guy alive. Overshield and camo coming up on the map. Contra's now in the pit by himself, but it looks like he's going to get out of there and try to get that Overshield. That Booba has already picked up at that 40 mark. Meanwhile, what's happening on the camo side of the map? It's Renegade trying to pick that one up. Looks like Nemesis is going to be able to get it, but he gets dropped as well. 3 death, last guy alive is Contra outside. This is not looking good for OS.
Yeah, and Contra is killing, I was thinking the Overshield. Yeah, Booba had the Overshield there. You confused me for a second. But yeah, Contra takes all the Overshield away from Booba. But Booba, all he needs to do is be a distraction. They have control.
Just don't let them get the Overshield.
Exactly. And now look, Contra is still hunting him down and doesn't get a kill out of it. 3 down once again for Oxygen Supremacy. We just broke the 80-point mark here in this game. We are coming down to the wire, everyone. Oh my gosh, that was pretty good by Nemesis there. That might be a little bit of a saving grace, but like we said, could be too little too late.
Yeah, those are the type of plays that you need to make, and it's scary that that's when it happens, but we'll see, man. It's not over yet. They are going for the pit. 90 points on the board. It's not 100, so these guys are still into it. 10 points for Splyce to make it into the Pro League. Renegade's going to get beat down by Nemesis. Potential triple cap coming out, all because maybe of that play, Kyle, that you're talking about. That could be the big momentum boost that they needed. Contra, he's going to back off. Just let them get that. They're not going to even be able to get a point out of that, so that's okay. And now Contra just going to back off and wait for these guys to push. Overshield and camo coming up in about 35 seconds, so watch out for that, Kyle.
Probably going to be the last one we see as well. Like if Oxygen Supremacy dies when these next set of power weapons come up, this game is essentially over. But oh, look at that. You're right. 3 dead. Shooter and friends secure the bottom middle hill. They're trying to get it back as fast as possible. We'll see what happens, but that's not looking good. Shotzzy clutches it for a moment. Big contest coming out here from Renegade. Another guy flying into that pit. He does get in in time, grabs a kill. Destroy doing what he can, but he's no shields. That was the reset.
That was the reset, and that was Destroyed's hopes and dreams making it out. That is going to be Splyce moving on to be the 8th team in the Summer Pro League. Very well played by them. Well fought by all the teams, but Splyce just a little bit too much.
And sure enough, I feel like this entire series got determined by that absolutely ridiculous flag capture on Coliseum. We weren't kidding. It completely spiraled out of control for Oxygen Supremacy after that had happened.
No doubt about it. It was Shotzzy coming around with the flagpole that pretty much saved that game in almost the series there. Taking a look at the stats, Destroyed, you could tell his brain was just